we go!
Thank you, and coming up in this incredibly exciting show, a young woman changes a wheel. An older woman drinks some lager. And Richard looks at a book.
Look at that.
However, we begin with a film from James May, who's in his 80s.
What?
No, wait, sorry. We begin with a film from James May about the 80s.
Yes. Thank you. The 80s, a time of marvellous excess, you know, Gordon Gekko and big shoulder pads and, of course, incredible supercars, the greatest of which, without question, was this one. The Ferrari Testarossa was excess on wheels. Be it looks, attitude, or even size. When this car came out, people were absolutely aghast at how wide this car was. I mean wide like Del Boy, I mean wide as in width. It was enormous, especially at the back. And it simply oozed charisma from every one of its slatted panels. It was unquestionably the only car that could star in Miami Vice. Go! The price of this car, when it went on sale in 1985, was £62,666. That is, as I'm sure you know, the number of the beast. And when you unleashed its 5-litre V12, it would do 180 miles an hour. That was an astonishing figure for the time. In fact, Enzo Ferrari loved that show so much, he actually gave its star, Don Johnson, his own Testarossa. And Don was just the tip of the celebrity iceberg. Rod Stewart had one, Elton John had one, Mike Tyson had one, O.J. Simpson had one, and presumably wore driving gloves. If the 1980s were the era of excess, then, well, this was the perfect car for the era.
I'm afraid Mr. May has just been wasting your time, rather, because that is not the ultimate 80s supercar. This is. For sheer over-the-topness, nothing comes close to the Lamborghini Countach. Alongside it, the Testarossa looks like a family hatchback. If you think the Ferrari is wide, this is even wider. And the Testarossa's doors don't open like this. This version of the Countach, the LP5000, was launched in 1985 specifically to put the Testarossa back in its box. Its 48-valve, 5.2-litre V12 could take the Countach to 186 miles an hour, or to be precise, more than the Ferrari. We're off. The thing is, supercars, to me, are all about being the ultimate. Doesn't matter what that is, but it has to be an ultimate. And this is the ultimate bedroom wall poster car. When I first saw one of these as a kid, it lit a flame in my heart. And when I saw one today, as a middle-aged man, that same flame roared into life. What an astonishing feeling! This incredible machine came from a company that didn't have half the resources of Ferrari. Let me give you an example. This car might look super aerodynamic, like a missile, but in fact, it never saw the inside of a wind tunnel. They couldn't afford to put it in one. So instead, they ran a prototype up and down the motorway with bits of wool stuck all over it. I love that. Oh, hello. Here he comes. What? Go, go, go. Come on, come on, come on. For God's sake. Come on. Go, go. Oh, God. Oh, my word. There you go. What?
That feels good.
That's not right.
I have been clever.
Keep going. Hello, mate. Hello. No, not in any way. Watch this. That's me. Yeah.
Eventually, we pulled over, so we could continue arguing face to chest.
Oh, the brakes are brilliant.
On the line,
Right. Oh, that doesn't help much in there.
you can't see behind you, can you?
I just want to be really accurate, and you can help with that.
That's in the way, and that's in the way. That's why the early ones had a periscope. Unable to agree on anything, we decided to take a more intellectual approach by having a drag race. Now, on paper, the Lamborghini is faster, definitely, but as we've already observed, Lamborghini were a bit fast and loose with their performance figures back in the day. So now, finally, we can find out for real.
You bloody idiot.
Away! With their performance figures back in the day. So now, finally, we can find out for real.
Thank you.
With their performance figures back in the day. So now, finally, we can find out for real.
Three, two, one. Stop it! Again. Gotta keep the pressure on.
With their performance figures back in the day. So now, finally, we can find out for real.
Three, two, one, go! Give me everything you've got. Big speed. It was a privilege, wasn't it?
Special.
Yeah.
Couple of things I think you forgot to mention in that film.
Hang on a minute.
What?
By attacking those cars, you are destroying the very foundations of everything we love and hold precious.
And now it's time to destroy them a little bit more by seeing how slowly those cars go round the Ebola-drome. Lunging and pitching there as she heads on to the isn't. Ringing out that flat 12. Back towards old lady's house, lumbering towards substation. And across the line. Absolutely nuts. Like sliding a Testarossa. I wouldn't do that for all the tea in China.
Technical point that might confuse the viewers. You just said the raw from the flat 12,
Yeah.
which is sort of right, but I said V12.
I knew you did.
Which is also sort of right, because it's not a boxer, so it's a 180-degree flat V12.
Like that.
There you
Literally
go.
not interested. It's a flattish V12. Anyway,
Flattish.
it's now time to see how the Lambo got on. Easing off the second curve on the straight. On the power towards your name here. The joyless wrestle back towards Old Lady's house. Now in the damp dash towards substation. And there we are across the line.
Great.
Right. There's a new breed of small hot hatchback. And to find which one is best, we took the Grand Tour to that field just over there. Yes, the start point for our test was our own track in Oxfordshire. And this is what we'd assembled. I've brought the new Volkswagen Polo GTI, which has 197 horsepower. Richard Hammond has brought the new Ford Fiesta ST, which also has 197 horsepower. James May has brought the new Toyota Yaris, which has a ridiculous name, the how do you say that?
Gruminer.
It isn't Gruminer. There's no at the end. It says Grum.
Yours is a brown car.
It's not brown.
That is brown.
Oh, yeah, it is.
It isn't. It's mushroom.
The cameramen know about colour. Is it brown?
It's brown.
Definitely brown.
It's brown. There you
It's
go.
mushroom. We decided that instead of arguing about which car was best, we should do some actual tests, starting with a pursuit race. Go. It is quite scary through here. Ow, God, that looks tricky. Drive carefully. Oh, God. Oh, for God's sake. That's it. Keep going, keep going. Look at that for a tidy line. Oh my God. Ow, God, that looks tricky.
Several laps later, both...
Mushroom! At this point, we decided that instead of arguing about which car was best, we should do some actual tests, starting with a pursuit race. Go. Drive fast. Drive carefully. That'll do. I love speeding. It is quite scary through here. Drive fast.
Several laps later, both of us were still the same distance apart.
It's just occurred to me, we both have the same knowledge of this track. We both have 197 horsepower. This race may take a while. However...
Brakes are fading. I can feel them fading a bit. They do get hot.
Mine, meanwhile, had got smoky hot. So, much to the annoyance of our colleague, we decided to call it a draw.
Can I just say, if this was a proper race rather than a catchy-up race, I'd now be in the lead because I treated my car properly and didn't overheat the brakes.
Have you heard this?
I did hear that.
But you don't pause in a race.
If you drive slowly, you win.
Yes, because my brakes aren't overheating. I could still be
You
going
never
round.
went more than 28 miles an hour.
Rubbish! When did you watch a motor race on the television, on Grandstand or whatever? And they said,
Rather
"Oh, we're just
than
gonna
listen
have
to any
balls
more
cars
of
at
May's
this time."
bizarre theories on motorsport, we decided to move on to the next challenge. A drag race. Let me talk you through the engine. It's a 2-litre turbo. What more do you want? 3, 2, 1, go. Yes!
Oh, what?
A victory for the fat boy!
That can only mean that VW have got their figures wrong. Again.
This surprising result called for a bit of a debrief. The mushroom-coloured polo
The brown VW has
won. Actually, I've got to be honest, I am quite surprised by its
I'm slightly
astonishing
surprised.
victory.
It is really annoying and there's nothing you can do.
Because it's heavy.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's only as powerful as this.
The DSG gearbox makes a huge difference.
Yeah, the double clutch. I mean, every time you two have to change gear, you lose 20 yards.
Well, there's no way can you keep up with that with an
Instant.
old-fashioned box.
Look,
No.
it's one gear, then another. In this...
yes.
Oh, hang on. Text from Mr. Willman. You idiots.
Nice.
Kind?
Stop banging on about double-clutch gearboxes and lift-off oversteer. These cars are supposed to appeal to young people, and they have no idea what those things are. The winner of this test will be the car that appeals most to millennials, not old men like you. So what test do we do that young people would be interested? No, wait, I've had an idea.
What exactly is a millennial?
Once we'd explained this to James, we left the test track and began our new youth-friendly road test.
Go! Oh dear God. Oh! I'm going to kill him. Thank you. That was terrifying. Turning power, this is good.
Test track and began our new youth-friendly road test.
Check. No.
Very, very quickly here.
Oh, dearie me. This is undignified. Whoops. Oh no!
Apart from you drinking plastic, which is evil, I thought that was all going rather well, the test appealing to young people.
Yeah, we'd talked about carbon dioxide and polar bears and expressed our support for the Labour Party.
Yeah, I mean, apart from the bit where the juicer blew up in my face, obviously it was all going rather excellently, we thought.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, but unfortunately, Mr. Willman said we hadn't got the idea at all.
No.
And that to really appeal to millennials, we had to somehow get our cars in the Mail Online.
Now, this was a bit of a problem for James, who claims he's never read the Mail Online.
I haven't.
You're not really the Mail's target audience, James.
What do you mean by that?
Well, you're not a mealy-mouthed, bitter person who believes that everyone who is luckier, better-looking, richer and more talented than you are should be torn to shreds and executed.
Right, well, whatever. The rules were simple. We had to drive into London and then do something with our cars that would get the paparazzi to take a picture of them.
Yes, and then the winner would be the person who got the most amount of those pictures actually published.
I decided that what I'd do was take my wife out for dinner at the glittering Bluebird restaurant on the famous King's Road. It's a popular haunt for the Paps, this, and I felt sure we'd be snapped getting out of the little Ford.
Okay, right, so remember to smile and look like you really like me. Like a lot. Right. Hold my hand, there. And then we'll just stand around for a bit. Looking forward to dinner with my wife, Mindy.
Jeremy, meanwhile, had decided that to get himself noticed, he'd have a puncture and then get a celebrity, like Binky Felstead, to help him mend it.
Did you grab the spare wheel?
Really?
You have to twiddle it so the car goes up, way really high in the sky. Come on, get back into this.
Exhausted.
James, meanwhile, was driving a car that's never been papped, through a part of London that's never been papped, with his dinner date, historian Mary Beard, who hasn't been papped either.
And I'm absolutely delighted. I mean, this has made my month, this.
Oh, well, thank you. That's very generous.
Meanwhile, back in Chelsea,
There's no Paps. There's nobody here.
No.
There's no photographers. It's ridiculous. I've always been photographed here. Look, here I am. And here I am. And here... Oh, she's just a friend from work.
with dinner over, the two most unpappable people in history were waiting to be papped.
I just had a thought. I don't want you to take this the wrong way, but actually the idea of this was to get the car in the paper. Well, no, because I should have parked it outside. Excuse me.
James, did you burp in front of Mary Beard?
I did, I'm sorry, it just fell out. I apologise.
And also, I know a lot of people will be thinking, oh, we engineered that. We really genuinely didn't. All you have to do to get papped when you're in our line of work is go into London, do something mildly out of the ordinary, and then they swarm... Well,
Or get
not round
absolutely
you.
clattered and fall out of a club with no trousers on.
Yeah, that's a good way of doing it.
Or
Anyway...
catch pneumonia.
Anyway, while... Yes. I've had that a few times. Anyway, listen, while we were waiting to see which one of our antics got into the Mail Online, Mr. Willman came up with another youth-friendly idea.
Yep, he said each of us had to take a picture of our car and then see which of us got the most likes of their snap on Instagram.
I had done just that.
For my Instagram picture, I am not messing about. I've recruited a top photographer, and I'm very excited because he's brilliant.
Look at that. His name is David Yarrow. He's one of the world's greatest wildlife photographers, and his plan was to recreate this shot using my car instead of the tiger.
So I'm coming in.
I think the most important thing is to have energy. It's got to be full, it's got to be dynamic. And that means I think we need water flying up between me and the car. I want to be as close, safety-wise, as you'll allow me to be. Yeah, got your number.
Okay.
Oh my God! Eventually, my shot was in the can. As was May's. And so, after no work at all, was Jeremy's. Could you have made any less effort with that challenge?
No, you're right. I should have put a puppy in it, because Instagram loves a dog.
Yeah.
Anyone on Instagram, it's all just dogs, basically.
Anyway, with our pictures posted on Instagram, we were all given another challenge to see who could get the most views of their car on YouTube.
Now, if you go on YouTube, which I do quite a lot, you will notice that something that's very popular with so-called millennials is the unboxing video. It's usually something like an idle student with nothing better to do, simply taking something they've bought out of the box and talking about it.
Hey, what's up? What's going on, everybody? The delivery guys just left, got it here, and haven't even taken it out of the box yet. I got so
This
excited.
bloke is unboxing a new television set he's bought.
Oh my God, you guys ready?
Look how many hits it's got.
The stand is not mounted on it. You'll have to put that on later.
Hi guys, it's May. Welcome, brothers and sisters, to my latest unboxing video. And this is a big one. It's a car. Meanwhile, Jeremy had decided to create a fast show style character called David Souffle.
Back at the airfield, my next stunt was ready.
Right, now down there is a man. I don't know his name, but it doesn't matter because in a moment I'm going to run him over. 3, 2, 1. Go, go, go. And here we go. Yes! Didn't kill a man.
Oh, I like that a lot.
That was an impressive stunt.
Pretty cool, yeah. That's pretty for that.
How's his therapy working out?
Getting over it.
OK, what we've got here is the scoreboard that'll help us determine which is the best of the small hot hatches. We've already filled in the scores for Price, the pursuit race and the drag race. Now we've got the paparazzi thing. Hammond, how did you get on?
Well, you two put the pap in a bag, didn't you?
Well, we did, but actually, we should sell those bags to celebrities.
You should, because they're rather clever. You pull a drawstring, and not only can't you take any pictures, you can't get out of the car.
Yes, it's also technically false imprisonment.
Yes.
And
Well, yeah,
therefore
but
illegal.
so's trapping a wasp in a jam jar. Nobody complains about that, do they?
Yes, well, anyway, it didn't work because obviously there must have been another pap that we didn't spot because this picture appeared. Ha ha! Ha ha ha!
No. Wait a minute. The rules said it had to have the car in it, and I don't see the car in that picture.
It also said Mail Online, and I'm guessing there's some evidence to suggest that is the Sun.
Yeah,
I think it's the Sun.
I hoped you wouldn't spot that.
Yeah, we did.
I didn't do very well.
I think that gives you a 0, Hammond.
Yeah, so you get a 0. Now, James May, how did you get on taking the older woman out for a curry in Hammersmith and then parking your car in an underground car park?
Not that well, actually.
How not that well?
Not that well.
Okay.
Not a single thing. My plan was rather successful.
Was it?
49 pictures appeared of my car and me and Binky in the Mail Online.
49?
49 pictures.
Well, hang on a minute. 49 pictures of a fat old bloke and a young girl I've never heard of.
And the extraordinary thing is, I'd like to show you the 49 pictures, but got in touch with the Mail Online yesterday, OK, to say, can we have the pictures? Do you want to know how much they were going to charge? £122,000.
What?
kid you not. They take a picture of me, they ruin my life, and then for me to buy the picture back is £122,000.
There are 49 pictures on there of you.
Don't show the cameras, otherwise there'll be a bill for 120 grand. But the good thing is...
Exactly, because of that, you score 49.
Yep,
yes,
I'm afraid he does.
do.
There's no getting around
Yes,
that.
I do. Which moves us on to Instagram.
OK.
James May, how did you do with your picture on the bus?
I scored 0.
Naught?
Yeah.
Nobody get naught.
Well, it's quite interesting. You see, I didn't have an Instagram account, so I set one up. No, but
That's
hang
a
on.
surprise.
No, but I set one up, and then as I was setting it up, I realised there was someone else on Instagram pretending to be me. So I filled in that reporting thing that pulls down, you know, and I sent it off, and all credit to Instagram, they reacted very quickly, by that afternoon, in fact, and they shut me down. Yeah, they didn't shut down the fake James May. They shut the real one down.
They killed the wrong James May.
Yeah.
OK, well, that's quite interesting. What's interesting me, though, is that there's a man somewhere out in the world, or woman, who's thought, I could pretend to be anyone I like. I shall pretend to be James May.
I know.
It's not very ambitious, is it?
Even George Clooney.
I know, but anyway, the net result of that, as they say in the army, is that I have naught.
You're
Yes.
doing very well.
I've
here,
got
aren't
one,
you?
yeah. This is
So, Hammond, how did you get on?
Well, my picture was brilliant. Look at it. It's up. Look at that.
No, that is,
good.
apart from the slogan with the sexual intercourse
that was
enthusiast,
awkward, yeah.
that is an amazing photograph, granted. So, how many people have viewed it and liked it on Instagram?
9.
Well, they block you as well.
9. No. You see, I don't really do Instagram, so I don't have many followers, so only 9 people have seen it.
Oh, dear, because I got 54,000.
Oh, for God's sake! Yes, but you do Instagram.
Yes, I do.
So you got lots
Yes,
of
I did. So
followers.
put 54,000.
Hang on a minute, let's look at this in a more positive light, Hammond. He has got 1.6 million Instagram followers.
Yes.
So 1.46 million people actively didn't like his picture. That's a good way of looking at it.
That's a lose,
It wasn't
really.
my best work, I admit. It was a hurried shot.
What was it?
54,000.
That does change the scoreline a bit.
Change the
doesn't it?
scoreline a lot, because I'm now on 54,053.
Right,
And
okay.
you're on 1.
Yeah, I'm on one.
Anyway, I also... It gets worse, I'm afraid, for you two, because YouTube.
Go on.
I didn't add them all up, but my first David Souffle video on YouTube, 266,000 views.
God.
More than 250,000 people.
You are ahead now.
Yes, I'm that's just comfortably in the lead, I would say.
Yes.
So come on, Hammond.
16,800.
What, for all that effort?
I know! I don't get it either because I gave it a really cool, tempting caption. It said, look, epic street fight broken up by Ryan Gosling and Channing Tatum whilst Prince Philip tightrope walks between 2 cars. Who doesn't want to look at that?
You actually put that as the caption?
That's what it said. It's clickbait,
And then the
isn't it?
YouTube millennials
Yes.
thought, no, I'd rather watch a cat going...
must
That's
have done.
ridiculous. That is... I'm sorry, that is pathetic. Young people, you're pathetic. Right, so there we are. Those are the scores at the moment. You're out.
Yes.
And James, I'm looking and I'm thinking, and just in quick adding up, unless you manage to find 325,000 people who are prepared to spend 16 minutes, because that's how long that unboxing video was, 16 minutes watching you taking a small Toyota hatchback out of a cardboard box, I've won.
Yes.
So?
330,000.
Out of a box. Oh, he's doing the dance. You see this dance? How does he always manage to win?
Well, I think on this occasion it was partly because you tried to appeal to millennials by creating a fast show type character when nobody under 40 has ever heard of the fast show.
No, that's exactly right. You might as well have done the comedy adventures of Neville Chamberlain in 1939. That would have been better. But...
So, because there are more people who'd rather watch an old man take a small car out of a box than watch him endangering an office junior or me wearing a moustache, we have to deduce that the best of these small hot hatchbacks is comfortably the worst.
Yeah, that is our conclusion.
Yeah, and on that terrible disappointment, it's time to end. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Goodbye.